Hey guys, what's up? I know it's been a while, but we're coming with the last film study. I believe we've covered damn near everything about this matchup. You know what I'm saying? You can never know what's going to happen until the night of the fight. Anything can happen. But if we're just going off of styles, patterns, the mentalities of both fighters, everything else, and a lot of this we covered, you know what I'm saying? There's a reason why Crawford is considered the favorite. There's a reason why you have Derrick James trying to fucking hate already, claiming that Sean Porter is just, I don't know, damaged goods at this point. I mean, when you say that, Spence has taken a lot out of him, you're clearly stating that this is not an optimum Sean Porter. That's cool. We've said this in multiple videos. I don't think Crawford's even going to get credit for Spence when he beats him. You know what I'm saying? And I still have these dudes in my comment section telling me I'm full of cap and all this other shit. We'll just see. We'll see who's more accurate, who's more correct at the end when all this shit is finally reaches an absolution. But anyhow, we've covered damn near everything to this matchup, guys. I mean, we showed you guys how they deal with adversity. Well, we're actually going to get into that for this video with Crawford, but I showed you how Sean Porter dealt with adversity in the past, and there's a pattern about it, you know what I'm saying? We talked the styles, we talked everything, we gone over Bud, you know what I'm saying? But we're at the point now where we can really only talk about intangibles and things like that, and this is pretty much why this is the last video. Now, a lot of people are saying he hasn't fought no one. He's never faced real adversity. Well, Bud has faced adversity, guys. And he has actually fought people. You just don't value these people because you don't know their names, or you're still going off this popularity contest. You act like a guy like Danny Garcia is a dominant fucking welterweight, and this is a bricklayer who has propped up other fighters. And he's, Sean Porter's best win, second or best. On paper, maybe you could say Ugas is Sean Porter's best. I don't even know, guys, to be honest with you. I think Sean Porter values his performance against Spence over anything that he's done in his fucking career, which is a participation award at the end of the fucking day. But we're in the intangible section now, and we are going to end the video with this one intangible from Terrence Crawford. You see some guys who are ultra competitive. You know what I'm saying? We'll give you some examples like LeBron James when he was facing elimination versus Boston. You saw this dude fucking ascend his level and just transform into this fucking monster, you know what I'm saying? That just reigned terror on Kevin Garnett and those fucking dudes, and there was nothing they could do about it, you know what I'm saying? They were about to eliminate this man, and they allowed this man to just fucking transform again into this beast and just decimate them, you know what I'm saying? And they're still butthurt over that shit to this day. You always heard stories about Michael Jordan when people talk shit about him. He would fucking make it a point to go out there and just light their ass up. Those videos on YouTube, for all you basketball fans out there. As far as boxing, I'll use another example, Clarissa Shields versus Hannah Gabriels. After Hannah Gabriels knocked Clarissa Shields down, she got up and she ascended her level, dude. She took over after that shit, you know what I'm saying? And Hannah Gabriels didn't do jack and shit after that, pretty much, you know what I'm saying? We had Floyd Mayweather versus fucking Shea Mosley. Shea Mosley landed overhand right from hell on Terrence Crawford. You know what I'm saying? Dude had his eyes closed, head was shaking and shit. He was drooling. Landed this ultimate punch that would have sent, I would say, 98% of people in boxing down on the canvas, or possibly even knocked him the fuck out. Floyd managed to keep his footing, stay on his feet. But he did get caught by a fucking hook to his temple that almost dropped him. His legs were literally at 95-degree angles, and this man managed to pick himself up, and as Nassim Richardson prophesied, this man fucking grew a fucking tail, some horns, and started spitting fireballs, sending his level to his level up a notch on this guy, and Shea Mosley couldn't do nothing about it, guys. Totally helpless in the situation. He was getting his fucking ass beat. Now, here we are with Igis Kavaliauskas versus Terrence Crawford. You guys are claiming that Sean Porter is going to be the ultimate opponent that Terrence Crawford's ever faced. You guys are going to have to live up to your words, and Bud, more than anybody else, wants to prove you guys wrong and make you eat your own words. He's already told Sean Porter to a certain degree that, if you fucking hit me, I'm going to hit you twice as hard. You guys are seeing these Felix Diaz highlights right now. It was one of the first videos that I made when I created this fucking channel. This channel initially was meant to be a highlight channel, but I kept getting hit with copyright strikes. But anyhow, the quote that you see in the beginning of this shit, I just felt like it fit this perfectly. You know, if Sean Porter does want to bring some shit, Terrence Crawford does have an answer for him. And as I said, Porter's known as this warrior who's going to go out on his shield and just come forward and all this other shit. We kind of debunked that in some of these film studies I showed you. He does get demoralized, and he's not quite the warrior that you guys think he is. You know, sure, he got back up versus Errol Spence, but I mean, this is a guy who had excuses for, you know, Mickey or Garcia why he couldn't knock out, and then they spun a narrative, you know, saying that he wasn't trying to knock him out after he admitted out of his own mouth that he tried to knock him out on several occasions, you know. And this is the guy who gets drunk and goes out in the club and shit. But anyhow, I've hated on that man enough. Let's stick to the topic. But Terrence Crawford, you know, this is one of those moments we got to see the psychotic nature, the transformation, the metamorphosis of this fucking beast that he has within him. And he raises his level to the, you know, up a notch and ascends, you know, and kind of fitting those same examples that I gave you guys. Pretty much, I think he took over the fight in the third round, and we are going to start this film study at the third round. But I am kind of regretting that now because there were a lot of interesting things. The battle of the feet between both of them, the outside positioning. But a lot of you just want to see the action, and we're going to get to the action, you know, and we're just going to see how Crawford responded to this adversity. I mean, Egas hit him with a shot, but all I saw is you woke up a sleeping fucking giant, a sleeping beast, whatever. You know, he was Mr. Dr. Jekyll, but you awoke Mr. Hyde, you know what I'm saying? So we're going to go ahead and get into these rounds. So let's do it. So we're going to start this film study in the third round. That's when the fight really does start. Egas Kavalauskas got the second round. Bud got the first. In most people's minds, you know, that's a consensus for the most part, but they were very slow burn rounds, you know what I'm saying? Not much developing, but Egas did land the best punch in the fight thus far in the second round. Now, as we see here, Egas, he's a rhythm fighter, has to kind of set a rhythm first before he can do what he actually wants to do, and Terrence Crawford is settling into his rhythm, you know what I'm saying? He's still trying to formulate, measure, you know. If Crawford, you know, has any weaknesses, people consider him a slow starter. I tend to disagree with that notion a little bit, but early in the fight is when you probably have the best chance to get him, you know what I'm saying? We're seeing here, there's also a battle of the feet, and you see when these guys land, they each try to get outside position. When they land, Egas almost got caught there. Egas is a very smart fighter, though. He makes adjustments, as you just saw that setup jab to the body. Then he came up top with that punch that landed on Crawford. Regardless if you have it a knockdown or not, me personally, I don't. One of my first videos my first video that I came out on this channel when not too long after this fight was a highlight video of this fight. But it did get copyright struck by Top Rank, and they took it down, but doing it in slow motion, you'll see that it's actually a shove that sent Crawford down to the ground. Was he hurt from the shot? Yes, he was, guys. Don't get it twisted. Just real quick, as you guys start to see, and this is why I disagree that he's a slow starter, but he's already basically, for the most part, adapted to that overhand right from Egas Kavalauskas. He's quite aware of what Egas is trying to do. And he's actually trying to bait Egas into throwing that right hand again. But Egas is a smart guy. He makes adjustments. He makes adjustments to Crawford's adjustments. And I think this is a highly underrated fight. But Bud is waiting for him to throw that right so that he can time it with his own left. A lot of people, they're like, why did he stop throwing that punch? See, he just got caught with the lead left and then the three, so a 2-3. And he's still trying to time him with his left right now. Igas also has a decent jab. You'll see it in the Zuski fight. I mean, he was landing some jabs on, what's his name? Ortiz. But definitely a Igas Kavalauskas round. He's up 2-1 right now. You know, it's a chess game. I should have included the first 2 rounds so you guys could see the actual battle of the feet. You know what I'm saying? But you see how Igas, he gets outside position on that shot. He set it up with a jab to the body. Then he came up top. If you guys saw that, you see that it was actually his left arm that was underneath Crawford's right, and it shoved him down. Now, again, I've seen that called a knockdown before, and I've seen it not called a knockdown before. That particular night, Crawford did get the benefit of the doubt. You know, he is the house fighter or whatnot, so you can blame it on that, but it depends. But through technicality, it's not a punch that sent him down to the canvas in that sequence. It's actually a shove. Now, Crawford, again, he's very adamant right now. We talked about the psychotic nature of this guy, the just ultra competitiveness. He's coming out to the point. He's wild. He's got to get his get back. He just caught a lead right to his chin again. But it's obviously not having the same effect. He's more alert now. He's more heightened. I'm sure his adrenaline's pumping. He's going out there. He wants to fucking kill this guy. You know, he's not going to stop until he, you know, draws blood or some crazy ass shit. You know, this dude is a living, breathing anime character, in my opinion. He's like fucking, if you guys ever watch anime, he's just like a Goku or some crazy fuck, you know. Right now, he's going all out, going ape shit on Igas Kavalauskas. But what he's doing to combat Igas Kavalauskas, who's a rhythm fighter, he's using broken rhythm. And he's trying to hit any opening he can fucking get right now. It's wild. It's very raw right now. But it will start to have a purpose. You know what I'm saying? It will start being calculated when he settles down. But right now, he's just all adrenaline. He's got to get this dude back whatsoever. Holding his head and fucking trying to uppercut him, too. This man is crazy right now. Landed his signature 2-3 again on Igas Kavalauskas, although 3 did not land that clean. Attempted a fucking uppercut. But this fight is highly underrated, like I said, guys. Nice jab by Igas Kavalauskas. Crawford answers with his own jab. I think he missed the second attempt. But Igas, he makes adjustments to Crawford's adjustments. He starts to realize that Crawford is trying to time him when he throws that right hand with his own left. He's over here trying to fucking take his head off, decapitate him as well. But you see, it's just broken rhythm and trying to hit any opening he can at this moment. Still fresh after that second round, or that third round, and he's just still raw, but you saw him land that lead left. Igas tried to, he parried his shot and then tried to counter back with his own jab. See how I'm saying? He wants him to throw that right because he's trying to fucking take his head off with his own left hand to counter that shit. Igas did manage to land, but as you guys saw, Crawford landed with more authority, more power with his own left hand. When we get to Bud's first knockdown in this fight, you'll see he kind of lost track he was trying to time it. Igas is able to catch him again, but then he lands a punch that floors Igas after he lands that overhand right again. And this is what I'm saying. People claim he's a slow starter, but he does make quick adjustments. It just doesn't seem like it's fast. Still full of adrenaline, still full. It's personal right now, you know what I'm saying? But that's just the psychotic nature of a person like Terrence Bud Crawford. You know, if you beat him at pull or tic-tac-toe, the motherfucker's going to have to beat you back. It's just simple as that. He's laying some pretty nice rights on Igas Kavalauskas. Another 2-3 by Terrence Crawford. Broken rhythm jab that just landed and kind of made Kavalauskas lose his balance. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, although he's still making a lot of wild mistakes and shit, it's just the nature of now he's got to fucking go all out. He's throwing everything out the window right now. Reason, logic, everything. Still getting caught with some punches there, here and there. Igas landed his own 2-3 on Terrence Crawford, landed another 2-3. And this is what I'm talking about, guys. Igas actually makes adjustments to Crawford's adjustment. But at the end of this fight, Crawford makes the ultimate adjustment. You know, he introduces the uppercut on Igas Kavalauskas, and from there it was pretty much over. I believe he does in the 8th round. we're doing this live, but I do somewhat have this fight imprinted in my head. Crawford tries to land his own 2-3, goes downstairs to the body with the lead left. Afterwards, Aegis tries to answer back but misses. Crawford evades his punch and comes with his own right, and he's just making a rough and tough battle. For you guys that say he's not ready for pressure and he's not ready for what Porter has to bring, I have to disagree with you guys. I don't think Sean Porter is going to be ready for what the fuck Crawford has in store for him. As Crawford already told him in the fucking press conference, you know, you hit me, I'm going to fucking come back, hit you back twice as hard. And, you know, we've covered all bases of this matchup, I believe, and I'm starting to get burnt out on it, guys, and I'm very sorry for the quality of this video. But, you know, it's just the intangibles that we're on now. Again, I feel like we covered everything, and this is one big, huge intangible, an X factor, or whatever you want to call it, that Terrence Crawford is going to have over Sean Porter, man. Now, you see, now Bud's starting to become more calculated. His broken rhythm is now being mastered right now, as opposed to his, what's the word? Nice 2-3 by Terrence Crawford had good, considerable effect on him. Buckled him a little bit. Aegis is still very formidable right now. Now that he knows his overhand right has been compromised, what he's been doing, and I think I've called it out a few times, he's now using his right hand to set up a shot at the body, then coming up top with the left hook. He's landed that sequence on Bud Crawford a few times, and I'm pretty sure I called him out. But this is what I'm saying. Aegis is actually making adjustments to Crawford's adjustments. He even adapted Bud's signature 2-3 on him, landed that shit on him a couple times. Again, he has a pretty nice jab. You guys go watch a Zuski fight. He was landing that jab at will. But again, broken rhythm and just his pace that Bud's bringing to him. You know, you give the man your best shot and it's not enough and he comes back twice as hard at you. I mean, it's going to have a mental effect on you. You know what I'm saying? And again, now, instead of just being raw, Bud is in a state where he's actually now back to being calculated. Although when plenty of us were watching this live, he's countering you. You know what I'm saying? He missed with the right hook, but he did catch you partially with the straight left afterwards. But now he's becoming calculated. Now he, you know, if he's an animal trapped in a fence, an electrified fence, right now he's picking out the parts where he won't get electrified if he fucking touches it. And he's doing a lot better job defensively. Like I said, there's now calculation. He's now starting to master this beast that just been released out of him. You know what I'm saying? He's just not this raw fucking wild person anymore. Now he's starting to master it, take control of his adrenaline, everything else. Nice 2-3 by Crawford again, introducing the broken rhythm. As I told you, Kavalas is a rhythm fighter. If he doesn't get his rhythm going like he was in the first few rounds against Terrence Crawford, he's not going to be that successful. But again, very underrated fight, very underrated opponent. Like I said, he makes adjustments to Crawford's adjustments. And it's ultimately Crawford, the fucking gobstopper of adaptation, you know. And speaking in boxing terms, like, he makes the ultimate adjustment in the end. He's going to always have a new flavor for you, you know what I'm saying? He's always going to have a new tool that he'll craft during the fight. And he's going to find an opening, you know, at some point. Now we're back at chess match mode. And like I said, Crawford has now mastered this beast that he had within him. Nice fucking left uppercut, and then he tried to follow it with the right hook, but he missed the right hook. It was blocked. But as you see, doing much better defensively. He's more alert, aware, has more control of this beast that he has within him, you know. Before he was just Hulk, but this is the Hulk, the version that can fucking actually talk and think and, you know. And like I said, just a calculated killer now. But still, he still wants that blood. He's not going to be satisfied till he has your fucking head on a platter. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, this is just the intangible. A lot of people, they feel, damn, I did not know that this video skipped like that, guys. Wow. Well, that's pretty sad. That's a huge mistake, but it's too late. It takes forever to make these videos, guys. As always, I do implore you guys to watch these videos on your own. More broken rhythm from Crawford. You know, offsetting Cal Velasquez's rhythm with his jabs. And if this quality was better, you could see even by the third round, left side of Kyle Velasquez's head was reddening up because, you know, he was getting hit with some shit. Nice lead left to the body. Somewhat of a bolo punch, if you guys know what that is. Some Sugar Ray Leonard shit, you know. Slightly, not fully, though. Crawford went with his lead left up top and then went down low. But as you can see, Kyle Velasquez, you know, still using that adjustment he made, using his right hand to lure Crawford, then come on the other end with a left hook. Yeah, he's been able to land that sequence a few times on Terrence Crawford. Nice shot to the body. You know, it's the 7th round. He knows the momentum shift. He knows he has to start to do something because, quite frankly, if he doesn't, then it pretty much is over. And quite frankly, Crawford basically took over, I would say, after he got sent to the canvas, guys, to be quite honest with you guys. He already made the adjustment to that overhand right. Igas, he is a crafty fighter. He is a 2-time Olympian, so he's not some bum that people try to make him out to be. As we told you, he made some adjustments once he realized he couldn't just come with that overhand left anymore. Used the straight right to lure Crawford's guard to defend his body, and then he comes with the left hook. He's made some adjustments to Crawford's adjustments. Heavily underrated fight. Crawford from the high guard throws 2-3-4s, you know, it's a pretty good sequence. Good head movement, more combination punching. Igas comes with his own 1-2. That is a sequence that Crawford is susceptible to. But as we see, he comes back with a fucking hard shot on Igas Velasquez. He forgot about that right hand. It's been a minute since Igas tried to come with that overhand right again. Landed on Crawford, but Crawford came back with more authority and just sent him to the canvas. And this man is just psychotic, guys. And you're going to see this sequence here after this. He's still hurting him with these fucking shots. Igas doesn't know what the fuck's going on. This man's taking his best punches. But he pulls the Achilles right here. Look at his fucking face, dude. That is the fucking mentality of a fucking psycho. That's when Achilles killed Hector. Then he fucking looked back at the whole place on Troy. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck you guys gonna do? You know what I'm saying? That was just a beast moment for him. And you can just see the raw emotion. And, you know, Igas, I'm sure this is just business. It's not personal. You know what I'm saying? But for Crawford, this is more than personal. This is everything for him. He's not going to stop. It doesn't matter what you throw at him, what you land on him. You know, he's not going to fucking stop until you're done, until he ends you. You know what I'm saying? And this is what I'm talking about in the prologue. We told you about Michael Jordan, the stories when people talk shit. Broken rhythm, just hitting these openings on Igas Velasquez. These shots are calculated. They're precise. They're having considerable effect. They're demoralizing Igas Velasquez. To me, it gets to the point where he's not even landing hard, clean punches, and Igas just goes down just to fucking go down because he just does not want to deal with it. You'll hear fighters talk about when they spar Crawford, they talk about it's a lot of mental energy being spent in there because this man's thinking and he's just doing things that constantly has your mind wrapped up and busy, you know. And I feel guys like Lomachenko are kind of the same. Their mental pressure that they put on guys like Usyk, you know what I'm saying? That type of shit does have a considerable effect. He's landing some pretty hard shots on Igas. Again, hitting him where he's not expecting him to hit. Broken rhythm, hitting just openings. But again, he comes back, a right hook down low, and then comes back a left hook up top. This sequence has been working pretty good against Terrence Crawford. But again, this version of Crawford, nothing's going to stop him until he's achieved his goal, and that's to end you. You know what I'm saying? You embarrassed him. Whatever he has in his fucking mind that set this thing off that we're all witnessing right now. Unlike a guy who's lost before, a guy who believes, you know, that they can lose and they manifest it, you know, Crawford's still at that state where he feels like he cannot be beat. You know what I'm saying? You know, Floyd Mayweather told us about this before the Manny Pacquiao fight during the press conference. Yeah, and I think that's very important. You know, Ricky hadn't lost yet and still believed in himself. He really believed he was going to beat Floyd. He was very formidable with Floyd, but you know, a guy like Sean Porter, again, a guy who I think just can't cross that threshold of victory. You know, to me, I think he's more afraid of winning than he is losing. You know what I'm saying? And again, Crawford just landing these fucking hard shots. You know, he's at the point where Igor Kavalakis is at the point where it's pretty much over. And Crawford kind of took this round off too. It wasn't until probably the last minute or so where he started to unleash. And you see him still have the wherewithal to make a mental note at the end of the round. Let me hurry up and get back to my corner so I can sit down. These are just highlights. Crawford beating the fuck out of this guy. And we finally found the fucking right uppercut. You know what I'm saying? It's going to have considerable effect later on in this fucking fight for those who know. And Crawford knows it's pretty much endgame at this point. Like I said, these punches aren't even landing, I think, fully hard. It's just the mental and the physical aspect of it, of beating a man. When you take a man's best, or you give a man his best, your best, and it doesn't do nothing, and the man's coming back twice as hard at you. And, it has more of an effect. These punches don't even have to land that hard, but it's still going to send him down. He's just defeated mentally. He was beaten up physically as well. And Crawford just shows that he's on a whole nother level. So this concludes this series of film studies for this matchup. So I told you guys I'm a little burnt out on this matchup at this point. I'm a little burnt out on the welterweight division as a whole, man. Dude's been ducking. Dude's been trying to stall. Dudes need to find themselves in Dubai and shit. And, they're trying to beg the WBA for the easier route. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we're still a long way of welterweight absolution. There's still a considerable amount of time that's going to need to pass before we get any real result as a true welterweight king. For those of you who claim that Errol Spence is the king of the division already, please. The motherfucker has politics behind him and a fucking desperate-ass company. Doesn't have much more to stand on. We've done this fight Kell Brook. We've done this fight Sean Porter. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I'm pretty burnt out on this shit. I'm ready for absolution. That's going to be the next stage. They can try to prolong this shit all they want. And I think they're even going to force Spence to even take on a Thurman fight to prolong this bullshit and just milk him more. He's not a cash cow. He's a milk cow. There's a huge difference. But we'll see how this shit goes. But we will come out with more videos pertaining to this fight, the final press conference and the weigh-ins and shit like that, and give our thoughts, see if there's any new developments. But as far as that, I'm done on the series as far as film study. Again, I felt like we cover everything. This is just X Factor, intangibles, there might be more that people may feel that we need to go over, but I think we're pretty much done at this point, guys. I appreciate you for your time, and we will come out with more videos. Thank you.